everyone. We welcome you all to our team Global. My name is Saloni and I work as a volunteer at Adore. First, I would like to briefly introduce our organization Adore. Adore is a global volunteer network of students and professionals motivating youth towards positive action. This webinar is just an example of the work that this organization does. So we have Halimat Momoh, a passionate marketing strategist dedicated to driving growth and engagement. With a wealth of experience and a proven track record in creating impactful marketing campaigns, she excels in innovative strategies that connect with audiences and boost brand success. So, on behalf of Adore, I welcome you all to the Synergy webinar. We have Pradipta Sir here. He is one of our admin members and operational in charge of Adore. Before we start, I request everyone to turn on their cameras and make this session more interactive. Those who didn't register can register themselves by using the link given in the chat box. Now, without a further ado, let's kickstart this enlightening session.
Thank you so much, Saloni. Thank you so much for the brief introduction. Hello, everybody. My name is Halima from Nigeria. And today I'm going to be doing a presentation on the power of word of mouth marketing, right? But before I start, I would want to share a little bit about myself, how I came across being a marketer in the financial trading industry, and how long also I have been doing this career. I've been on this career path, right? So marketing was not what I studied in university, right? I have a BSc, but in human anatomy. And then people will be like, oh, human anatomy to marketing, how did that happen? Well, it's a long story, but I would kind of summarize it. So when I finished my BSc, I started putting out applications for jobs in medical sector, but I didn't get any, right? But I was opportuned to have a front desk position with a fintech company. When I got there, I had to learn what the business was all about and how the process was and everything. And I realized that it was something I was interested in. I wanted to know more about. And when the position for a marketing assistant opened up, I decided to apply, right? So I applied and I got in, and I've been doing marketing since then. Starting off as an assistant marketing manager to being the head of marketing in a different brokerage firm. It's been a very tough journey because it's not something I learned in the university. I had to learn on the job, right? I had to, what's the word now? Try to educate myself more about marketing. And I will tell you so far, it's been a rough ride, but a very, very interesting one. I'm now more in love with marketing. I love what I do, and I love to tell people about it. So this topic is super, very, very interesting to me, and let's stay tuned as we begin. So that's a little bit about myself. I'm going to start my presentation now. So hold on, please. Okay. Now, when it comes to word of mouth marketing, there are three emotions, right? They are always intertwined with word of mouth marketing. Before word of mouth marketing can be what it is, it has to do with the product or services that you're rendering, the clients you're rendering it to, and also how they feel about it. Now, it's either whenever you're rendering a product or service, it's either the client is happy, the client is sad, or the client is angry. That would determine what the outcome of word of mouth marketing would be. Okay, so these are the three emotions that are being attached to word of mouth marketing. So we're moving on to what it means, right? Word of mouth marketing is a communication between consumers about the product or service of a company in which they're satisfied or dissatisfied, right? So there are two outcomes to it. Word of mouth marketing could either be from a customer who is happy about your product or service, or from a customer who is not happy, right? Now, word of mouth marketing is not something that is being prone to being talked about based on you pushing for it. It's being spread word to word by emotion. So it's a voluntary share of people's experience as regards what it is that you're offering as a business or as a person. Now, since word of mouth marketing is driven by personal satisfaction, it can either be negative or positive. So it can go two ways. If your product is awesome, your delivery is awesome, your client is happy, that means you're going to be having a positive word of mouth, right? But if your product is awesome, but your delivery is not too good, probably how that client got your product is not too good, then you're going to be having a negative word of mouth. Now, the two types of word of mouth marketing, which is the positive word of mouth, which basically involves the sentiments towards a brand or product. It occurs when a customer is satisfied with the product and recommends or champions it to another. So whatever it is that we do, I believe some of us might want to take the path of gearing towards a marketing career path. So you're going to either be talking about working with a company that provides product or services, right? So the way you're able to deliver that product or service to your customers would really, push your brand out there. So if you have a positive word of mouth, of course, people will talk about you. They'll tell their friends, tell their family, and they'll be like, "Oh, this product is awesome. I love their. I'm super satisfied with their delivery process, and I want you to patronize them." But when you have a negative word of mouth, it's like the opposite of positive, right? You see people telling you, "Oh, do not patronize that brand. Their product is not good. Don't buy from them." And over time, you tend to realize that probably when you start let me give you an example now. When you start a business or you're selling a product and you realize that probably the first 3 months of your sale, you're doing all right, you're doing super good, you're selling about 10, 30, 40 products in a month, and all of a sudden there's a little bit of decline. Probably it starts falling down to you selling about maybe 100 products, right? And then you begin to ask yourself, "Oh, what am I doing wrong? What am I not putting in check?" And sometimes, or not most of the times, it falls down to word of mouth marketing. So you need to check that aspect of your business. Now, as a result, positive word of mouth may increase customer purchase probability and attitude towards a brand, whereas a negative word of mouth could decrease or probably destroy a brand. Now, it's very hard for a brand to come back from a negative word of mouth. What I mean by come back, I mean being able to revive that brand from what it used to be to what it is now. It is super hard. Very few brands are able to make it afterwards towards having a very bad publicity or a very bad word of mouth in their business or about their product. Now, the types of word of mouth marketing, we have traditional word of mouth marketing, which is basically you talking to your friends or your family about it. So it's you just saying, "Oh, you know what? I got this beautiful wristwatch from let's say Shekina store, right? And it works very well, and they delivered it. And funny enough, probably the owner of the product actually called me to ask me, "Oh, hope everything is working well," and all that. So that is you doing a traditional form of word of mouth marketing. Now, for electronic word of mouth marketing, is the sharing of information about a product or service is in form of social media recommendation. I don't know. I would need to ask a question. Do we have anybody here that whenever you want to purchase something online, you try to check reviews? Do we have anybody? You can put on your microphone and then talk. Do we have anybody that does that? Like you want to purchase,
Yes, I do.
because I do
Yes,
that a lot. Perfect. Like there was a time I traveled to another city in Nigeria, Abuja, and I was in the airport, I was trying to get a hotel, and I just kept on searching, right? But one thing I was looking out for, I would go to their Google page because they have a Google page. Most businesses do create that now. And I try to look out for reviews, right? And I see people saying, "Oh, the bed sheet was dirty, the AC was faulty, the customer service is trash." So whenever I see reviews like that, what do? I run away. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go here. But whenever I see more of positive reviews, take for instance, every business, the truth is this, right? For every business, for every brand, it's very hard for you to have a 100% satisfied customers. It's hard. No matter how perfect your product is, everybody has a different level of satisfaction, and it's hard for you to maintain to satisfy everybody. So what I look out for when I'm on Google, and I'm trying to see, Google your business, and I try to see the reviews, I'm like, okay, I know no business is perfect, but if I have 1,000 reviews and I have like 900 saying this brand is perfect, and I have 100 people saying, "Oh, this is rubbish," what do? I still go ahead, to patronize. So that's something that has to do with electronic word of mouth. It allows companies to explore consumer behavior and motivation. It also helps to mitigate against negative word of mouth. And if done right, it can encourage people to post positive information about your experience. Now, Google My Business have been able to give consumers the ability to post whatever it is that they've been able to experience, right? Like you go to a place and the place probably is not that, the way they do their business is not that good. And then you make a comment. Now, the good thing about electronic word of mouth is, as a business, you can respond, right? You can respond to that review and say, "Oh, we are sorry, this, that. Try and explain yourself. right? But for traditional word of mouth, you can't explain yourself. Why? Because it's a conversation between friends and you're not there to, defend your brand or defend yourself, right? So that's why most companies right now are, gearing towards electronic word of mouth, trying to see how they can push their brand towards that area and see how they can also defend themselves. Now, please, I just want to chip in something. I know I'm a very fast talker. So if you feel like I'm going too fast, just probably give me a sign to tone it down. Okay, is that fine?
It's fine, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. Now we're going to be looking at some top brands, right, that have actually experienced these two types of word of mouth marketing that we talked about. Now, take for instance Netflix. I got a screenshot from Google Play Store, right, and we see a client going on the platform to give a good recommendation. The recommendation is awesome. Netflix is the ultimate streaming app. If you see something like this, it's something like, okay, oh, the recommendation is nice, I want to go ahead and download the app, right? So this is a good example of a positive electronic word of mouth marketing. People leaving their reviews online for other consumers to see and decide if they want to purchase that product or that service, right? Now we have Coca-Cola. I don't know, there was a time Coca-Cola was doing Share a Coke campaign. I know it was worldwide, right? Did anybody participate in this? Anybody? Okay. It was I think, I don't know if the campaign was for the African market, right? But it was a big thing in Nigeria as at early 2014, right? So everybody was trying to get a Coke that has their name on it. It was like more of a customized Coke. And what you do basically is when you buy a Coke that has your name on it, you could take a picture and then you post it online and you'd be like, oh, share a Coke with Halima, share a Coke with Shalini. It was a fun thing. And this campaign was a very awesome one for the brand and they made a whole lot of money. I don't know about other countries, but I know in Nigeria, it was like, if you're not getting a Coke that has your name, then you're not getting any breakage. It was a big thing for us then, right? Now, this kind of marketing is marketing is called the traditional word of mouth marketing. It's you telling people about it from a friend, or you'd be like, oh, I got a Coke and it has my name, Halima, on it. You need to go and look for your own name. And people go to shop to look for different names of this product. So it was a very good one for them, and I know it worked. So I got a screenshot from a housing company in Sweden, right? Now I plan on going on holiday in Sweden, probably next 2 months. And I'm like, okay, I need to get an apartment I can stay for like 2 weeks. How do I go about it? And I came across this website and I'm like, okay, I need to see your reviews. So I went to Trustpilot, because that's where they have the reviews. And I saw this, and people were like, oh, fake website, do not pay. They're cheating people. Once the payment is done, it was super negative. It was negative. And I'm like, okay, if this person had this experience in 2020, that was about 4 years ago, but it's still there for people to see. And this actually made me decide not to go with this business, because I don't want to hear stories. I don't want to have any bad experience, right? And this is an example of a negative electronic word of mouth marketing. So it's very important as a brand or as a business, you maintain a very good brand out there. Whenever you have a client who is disgruntled about your product or services, the first thing you do is to try and explain to that client and ensure that client is satisfied with your explanation. It's key. Now, this brand has every opportunity to come back to this page and respond to this person, but they didn't do that, right? So this person wasn't responded to, and this was a major reason why I decided not to patronize them. So it's very important that you have a good positive word of mouth marketing. And looking at the statistics, it shows that 92% of consumers believe suggestion from family and friends over advertising. And let me ask us, if you have a best friend that tells you, oh, you know what, I got the stuff for the girls, I got the stuff from this brand and it's super cheap and it's good and it was delivered on time, and it's something that you like, would you want to patronize them? It's something that you want to patronize. Why? Because you have your friend is the one telling you about this particular brand and high experience, and you're like, okay, I want to do that. Because on several occasions myself, I've also done that with my friends giving me a very good review about a brand and me going for it. Now it shows that 74% of consumers identify word of mouth as a key influence in their purchasing decision, right? And which is key. I rather buy something from a brand that is being referred to me by a friend than just, it's hard. I don't know about other people. For me, it's very hard for me to just go and buy something without getting referrals first, or without me searching for referrals. It mustn't be my friend that patronized that brand, but let me see what other people have said about your brand. It's key. Now, it's 92%.
Sorry?
I will trust on 92% of consumer belief
You
suggestion from families and friends.
you do what?
I will believe in 92%.
Okay. Oh, you see, that's key. Now, 88% of consumers trust online reviews over advertising. This is me, right? Because to me, there are lots and lots of false advertising out there. Every brand is trying to paint a beautiful picture about what they do, their product and services, right? But you can only know the through what of a brand when you get reviews from people that have patronized or people that have bought, right? Now we're moving on to the next slide. The strategies for harnessing the power of word of mouth marketing. Now, what are the things you need to do? Let's assume you own a business, or let's assume you work in the marketing department of a company. What are the things you need to do to ensure that your brand is out there, and not just out there for bad reasons, but for good reasons? You need to partner with influencers. Now, over time, we've noticed that there's been a shift, right, from the traditional way of doing marketing to a digital way of doing marketing. So we have the influencers online that talk about their product. Now they have a good following. Like when you have an influencer that has a good following, whatever it is that they say, their followers will tend to, okay, oh, she talked about this brand, I want to go get it because I trust her and I know that she actually knows what she's talking about. So it's good to partner with influencers. Let them talk about your product and services if you can afford it. Then customer reviews. It's very important that you reach out to your customers and ask them to leave a review for you. And it has to be in a very kind and subtle manner. So you don't need to be harsh about it, like, oh, okay, you bought my product. Won't you say something about it in a very subtle manner? You can even send them a message. Oh, thank you so much for buying this product. I hope you're happy with it. Could you please drop a review for me and help me grow my business? Every customer that is happy with your product or services will want to do that. I have done that countless times for most of the brands I've patronized, right? So we have referral marketing. Now, referral marketing basically means you creating a strategy where you use people, not like use people per se, but just tell people, okay, you bought my cup, right? And it's nice, you love it, you like it. Can you please tell people about it? And when next anybody comes, to buy from me, saying that they got a review from you, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you that. So basically, it's you trying to give out an incentive, right, to get more customers. Now, offer free product. Let me give you an instance of this. There was a time I patronized a vendor on Instagram and she sells nightwears, right? So I got quite a number of nightwears. And when she delivered the items to me, I realized that what I got was more than what I paid for, right? And I'm like, oh, what happened? So I sent her a message. I'm like, oh, I think you made a mistake. You added something to my order. And she was like, no, it's a gift from me to you. And I was shocked. I was shocked. I was like, okay. Then the next thing I did was I picked up my phone. I called my friend. I'm like, you need to buy nightwears from this brand. She's good. She gave me this. She gave me that. And my friend too bought. And then she told her sister. So you see how it works. Sometimes you need to give out something to get something. Now engage with your customers. One thing I realize about businesses nowadays is when they are being patronized by a customer, they don't do a follow-up. Follow-up is key. Follow up in the sense that you should always try to reach out. Okay, you got this from my store. I hope it's working fine by you. I hope there is no issue. Do you need me to do this? Do you need me to do that? It is very, very important. Now, provide exceptional experience. Now, what do I mean by exceptional experience? The experience a customer has with your brand is key. You should try as much as possible for them to have a very seamless experience. Now, there was a time I needed to go somewhere and I needed to get this shoe for an event, right? It was late because it was a day to the event, and I remember I just wanted to get something new. So I reached out to a seller and I was like, oh, I know that your delivery time is 2 to 4 days, but I need this product tomorrow. Is it possible? Right? And she was like, oh, normally we don't do that. It's hard, blah, 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 but I'll find a way. And she made it possible. She got me that item that same day before my event. And it was an experience I would never forget. And whenever I want to get stuff, I'm always reaching out to her because, of course, I loved what she did. And it went above her norms of her business, right? Now, the benefits of word of mouth marketing. Word of mouth marketing creates trust, creates recommendations from friends, families, peers, and more than paid advertisement. Now, when you're spending money for advertisement, it could be digital advertisement, it could be radio, TV, commercials, and the rest of it. You spend more money, right? But are you able to capture the trust and the credibility of the people watching? No. But when you use word of mouth marketing, it builds more trust between people, and it helps you grow your brand. Now, cost effectiveness. For word of mouth marketing, you spend little or no money at all, right? The lady that sold me those nightwear didn't pay me any money to tell my friend to go patronize her, right? It was me speaking out of my experience and my excitement. So it's very, very cost effective. Now it reaches more people. I have like 10 friends. I'm going to tell 10 friends, and I know those 10 friends have like 20 friends. They're going to tell 20 friends, and it grows like that. And therefore building your business without you even spending any money or whatsoever. Now, longevity. Positive word of mouth can have a lasting impact on the brand reputation and customer loyalty. This is very, very important. Whatever you find yourself tomorrow, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever product you're selling, ensure that you have a good customer experience. Because if you have a bad customer experience and that person tells another person, it's just going to keep on spiraling like that. It's going to be, oh, she had a bad experience with this, but I'm not going to patronize it. And that person says that other person, oh, my friend said, you know, now this other person did not have an experience with you. She's just basing her decision on what her friend had experienced with your brand. So it's very, very important that you have a positive word of mouth marketing for your brand and for your business. Now, there are 5 T's to the word of mouth marketing. When you're looking at initiating this kind of marketing into your business, first of all, you need to find talkers. Find people who talk. Talkers are not your customers, right? Rather, they create a hype around your product. So take, for instance, this is very hard for you to detect, because when you're selling a product to somebody, you don't know the person's personality, right? It could be a very quiet person who just wants to buy. Oh, I'm satisfied, and it's a very quiet person. The person doesn't know how to create hypes, right? The person is just like, just give me what I'm paying for. Thank you for giving me that service, and then continues to his or her own way. But for other people, when they are talkers, they talk about it. You see people even doing videos on TikTok. Oh, I got this from this person, and it's so nice. So these are the talkers you need to look out for. Sometimes when you find these talkers, do not wait for them to patronize your brand, right? You could reach out to them and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to be offering you this beautiful mug. It's as a gift. You know, please just talk about it on your platform. And you see them doing that, right? Now, topic. Give them something to say about. This doesn't necessarily have to do with your product. Your topic should be portable, relatable, and emotional. Yeah, take for instance, Coca-Cola was able to give people the hashtag share a Coke, you know, to talk about, and everybody went crazy. I know in Nigeria it was a big thing. Everybody went crazy here, and they were like, oh, I need to get a Coke, I need to get a Coke, I need to get a Coke, I need to have a Coke that has my name on it. It was emotional, it was relatable, and it was portable. Share a Coke with Dami, share a Coke with Halima, share a Coke with this. This is a very good example. Now, the tools. Help your customer to tell their friends. A positive word of mouth sometimes needs a push for review. To do this, all you need to do is just ask, make it easy, and give them something to share. Now, take for instance, you have a customer that reached out to you on any of the digital platforms and say, oh, you know what, I need this. And the person gets back to you saying, oh, I got my item. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. I really loved it. Now, this is a person giving you a personal review, right? It is now left for you as a business owner or as a marketer to publicize that review. So you could share it on your story. You could share it and say, oh, my customer just said this about me. I'm so excited, blah, 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 and all that. And it gives that positive word of mouth to your brand when people see it. Now, taking part. When you get a review, please respond to it. This is very important. Now, I showed you an example of the housing brand that got a negative review, and up to this very moment, from 2020 to 2024, there has been no response to it. It's very important that even sometimes you do not deliver a satisfactory service, you ensure that whatever review you get, you respond to. It could be an apology. Oh, I am so sorry that you are not happy with our product, or you're not happy with our service. I promise you the next time you come, ask for this person and we're going to make it up to you. It is key. This is you trying to salvage your brand, right? Not just leaving it down like, oh, that's your business after all, I don't care. You're hurting your brand in a way that you might not know. So tracking, now create a marketing funnel to ensure precise tracking metrics. See, to me, I have realized over my 8 years in marketing, it is very important to keep track. When you keep track, then you know that, you know what works and what doesn't work. Now, creating a marketing funnel basically means, okay, in 2021, we made this product, we sold this product to this person, and we're able to make this amount of money, right? But we realized that in 2022, it has declined, or this has changed, or this happened. So tracking and metrics are very, very important when you're doing your form of marketing. Now, this is the end of my slide, and this is me trying to make you guys laugh with this beautiful picture, saying if you have any questions, please ask. If you don't, can you give me a round of applause? Thank you. Hello.
Okay, I do have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, what are some common mistakes businesses make when trying to leverage word of mouth marketing?
Okay, one of the mistakes I feel they make is feeling too big to respond to a customer's review, which I said it is very important that you respond to whatever review you get, being it good or being it bad, right? Well, that is one of it. Then another mistake that they make, they feel word of mouth is something that they cannot track. But the digital space has made it very easy for you to be able to track the number of people that likes your product, that was word now, that would want to patronize you based on the review that they got from a customer that has patronized you before. So it's easy for you to track. So when you're unable to track, when you're unable to defend your brand, being it negative or positive, it kind of hurts you. And that is two mistakes that I feel every brand or business owner should avoid.
All right.
Next question, please.
I do have a question. So
okay.
My question is like, how can social media amplify effects of word of mouth marketing?
Okay, social media that's where the electronic word of mouth marketing comes in, right? So let's assume you have a business, you want to amplify your word of mouth marketing. What you need to do first of all is to open a Google My Business page, right? So when you do that, because you've been able to give your customers an avenue to leave reviews for you, right? Also, when a customer reaches out to you on Instagram or whatever platform, Facebook, whatever platform you have your product and services on, try as much as possible to respond, right? So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Hello, ma'am. I have a question too. So, how can like negative words of mouth be turned into positive opportunities?
Okay, it's very hard to turn a negative word of mouth to positive, but these are the things you need to do, right? So when you have a negative word of mouth marketing, first of all, you need to reach out to that client, right? When you reach out to that client, I don't know what the issue might be for them to let me give you a case scenario, right? So you sell shoes, right? And you've sold shoe to this customer, and the customer sends a message and saying, oh, you know what? The shoe is trash, it's broken, it has a scratch. And you're like, oh, okay, I am sorry. Sometimes when you say I'm sorry, it kind of, brings down their temper, and you're like, oh, I am sorry. Please, I would want to return. I would want to replace the shoe for you, and I would pay for the delivery service, no costs on your own end, right? Now, this has kind of brought down the emotions of that customer. So that customer is no longer sad, it's no longer angry. It's in between. I'm happy, but I'm not happy, but I'll be more happy when I get the shoe back. And if you're able to do that, it's key. Customer satisfaction is key. Whatever it is that they complain about, try as much as possible to defend yourself. But mind you, you might have somebody who patronizes you, has a serious attitude problem. You know your product is awesome. You know your delivery is awesome, but somehow that client just wants to frustrate you. When you come across a client like this, all you need to do is say, I am sorry. Okay? So if I, as a person that wants to patronize you, I'm going through your reviews and I'm like, okay, you've apologized to this client. And as a person, you can easily tell when a client is being difficult. So if I read the client's review and I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. It's okay. Let's assume the client is saying, oh, I want a black shoe, but the shoe you gave me is too black. Take, for instance, that kind of review. It's too black. Your brand is trash, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, there is nothing like too black. It's black, it's black. So you as a person would know that this person's complaint does not really matter. It's just this person has an attitude problem. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Do we have any more questions?
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, so if there are no further questions, we will conclude the session. Thank you, Halimat Momoh, for hosting this wonderful webinar. Your presentation was both informative and enjoyable. We extend our gratitude to all the participants for joining us today. Adore is a non-profit organization that offers unpaid internship and volunteer opportunities. Individuals can utilize their time and expertise to support Adore's mission and various programs, thereby serving the community and making a difference. For more information and to apply, it is recommended to contact Adore directly or visit the official website. We have provided a feedback link in the chat box. Please provide feedback using your registered mobile numbers. Thank you once again for your participation and contribution to today's session. We eagerly anticipate seeing you at our further events. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.